So here we have rhombi and squares. So a rhombus is a quadrilateral with four congruent sides. Opposite sides are congruent. So a rhombus is also a parallelogram and has all the properties of parallelogram. So what is a rhombus? It is a parallelogram where all the sides are congruent, and it looks like this, right? It looks basically like a square that's tilted on a diagonal. And then we also have a square. A square is a parallelogram with four congruent sides and four congruent angles, right? So a square is a special type of rhombus. Yeah, it's a rhombus with all four angles being 90 degrees. So a square is both a rectangle and a rhombus and a parallelogram and a quadrilateral. So therefore, all properties of parallelograms, rectangles, and rhombi apply to squares. Okay, so what are the properties of rhombuses that are rhombi that we're learning about? It's that the diagonals are perpendicular. So in a rhombus, the diagonals form 90-degree angles. A second property is that the diagonals bisect the pair of opposite angles. So each of these opposite angles, like 1 and 2 are congruent, 6 and 5 are congruent, 3 and 4, and 7 and 8 are all congruent. All right. So we're going to use these properties to solve some problems. The first one is here. We have FK is 5. So I'm going to mark my sheet as 5. My FG is 13. So we're trying to find KJ. KJ is here, right? And so to find KJ, what we can do is we can apply the property that all sides in a rhombus are congruent, right? They're all the same. So that means FJ is 13. So we also know that the diagonals are perpendicular. So we know that FKJ is a right angle, right? So what we have here is a right triangle, FKJ, and we know we know the length of the leg and the hypotenuse, so we can find the length of the other leg using Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to say 5 squared plus x squared is equal to 13 squared. And we'll do 25 is equal plus x squared is equal to 169. Subtract 25 from both sides. We'll get x squared is equal to 144. Square root both sides, and we'll get x is equal to plus or minus 12. But we can't have a negative length, so we're just going to take the positive version of 12. So we found x to be 12. All right. So we're going to be using the properties of rhombuses, which are the properties of rectangles, parallelograms, and rhombuses, rhombi, to solve these problems here. Right. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll go over the answers in the next video.